Welcome to the General Chemistry 2 class. This section is on electrochemistry. This lesson is about commercial electrolytic process. Let's begin. In this lesson, we will describe the reactions in some commercial electrolytic processes. Electrolysis of molten salts can be carried out using downcell. The cell consists of inert electrodes, carbon anode and iron cathode, connected to a power source. It can be used in industrial preparation of substances that are not found readily in nature. The downcell can be used in generating sodium metal and chlorine gas. The reaction proceeds as follows. At the anode, chloride ion is oxidized to chlorine gas. At the cathode, sodium ion is reduced to molten sodium metal. The overall cell reaction is given by 1 mole sodium ion plus 2 mole chloride ion, producing 1 mole liquid sodium metal plus 2 mole chlorine gas. Aluminum metal is not naturally occur material. One of the processes do not produce aluminum is by electrolysis of molten salt of aluminum in a Hall-Héroult cell. The cell consists of coke, a non-crystalline allotrope of carbon, as the anode, and graphite, a crystalline allotrope of carbon, as the cathode. The electrolyte used in the cell is molten alumina, aluminum oxide, and chrolite, sodium hexafluoroaluminate. Alumina is the main source of aluminum in the process. Cryolite is an electrolyte that is added to lower the melting point of alumina from 2050 degrees Celsius to 1000 degrees Celsius. At the anode, oxide ion reacts with the coke electrodes to produce carbon monoxide. At the cathode, aluminum ion is reduced. The overall cell reaction is given by 2 moles aluminum ion plus 3 oxide ion, producing 2 moles liquid aluminum plus 3 moles carbon monoxide. The desired metal, which is in the molten state, is removed from the cell through siphoning. Electroplating is an electrolytic technique of coating a metal with a thin layer of another metal and metal that is easily corrode. They can be plated with metals that do not corrode easily. For instance, tin cans are made of steel plated with tin. Spoon and fork are made from metal plated with silver. Consider a metal to be electroplated with copper. The electrolytic cells consist of copper as the anode on the metal to be coated. With copper as the cathode, the electrolyte solution is aqueous copper 2 sulfate, which contains copper 2 ion. As the cell is connected to a battery, a copper starts to oxidize to copper 2 ion at the anode. As the electron proceeds to the cathode, copper 2 ion is reduced to copper, which is deposited in the cathode's surface. Electrorefining is the electrolytic process of purifying metals. This is usually done in obtaining a metal of acceptable purity from an impure sample. Consider a copper metal with impurities like zinc, nickel, iron, tellurium, gold, and silver. In performing electrorefining, this metal is placed in the anode while pure sample of copper is the cathode. The 2 electrodes are immersed in aqueous copper 2 sulfate. As the electrolysis commences, copper is oxidized to copper 2 ion. Zinc, nickel, and iron are also oxidized, but because of copper 2 ion. Meanwhile, tellurium, gold, and silver remain unoxidized and deposit at the bottom of the cell, since they are more difficult to oxidize compared to the copper. At the cathode, only copper 2 ion is reduced back to copper metal, leaving the other metal ions in the solution. By the end of electrolysis, the copper metal at the cathode is now of higher purity. To summarize, electrolysis is useful in carrying out commercial processes like production of substances that are not found in nature and improving the quality of metal by plating or refining. Thank you. Chemistry 2 class. This quiz is about commercial electrolytic process. Let's begin. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9.
And I met you in the summer.
And lastly, number 10.